They call it both the championship and the finals, but baseball usually decides its titles with series of games. They take the bat and leave. Way down deep in the valley of the river is a thing that you can pick up. It's a rock. Oh boy. Chompsy, are you sure about this?
Hey, come on, kid. Of course I am. Beepsy Boop over here put some sensor doohickeys in the cap there. They're gonna scan your hair, give me that data. I'm gonna use these slices I got on both sides of me to give you the perfect do.
Well, okay. My hair was getting a bit long, and I could use a new look for the latest episode review. Have at it.
Bada bing, bada boom, and away we go! There you go, kiddo. All set. Give it a look in the camera.
Wow, Chompsy, that looks really good. You did a great job. Thanks.
What can I say? I'm the man. Or, well, I guess I'm the Zord. I was.
Did you say something, Chompsy?
Oh, nothing. Don't worry about it, kid. Ain't you got an episode review to get to?
Oh, right. Oh, but you know, this is a baseball-themed episode.
So?
That means I've gotta cover up your handiwork.
Oh, come on. You see, now, this is why I like wrestling. No hits.
Hello there, heroes. I'm the Orange Ranger, and welcome to another Power Rangers Dino SuperCharge episode review. Have you ever gotten the green light on a 3-2 pitch, thrown the pick off just as a runner was stealing second, bunted a runner over into scoring position? Well, if you have, this episode of Dino SuperCharge is for you. Well, kind of. Sports, they are good, as one of my favorite internet cartoons says. The Rangers are hitting the field, and Koda especially is smacking that leather spear. So, oil up your mitts, lace up your cleats, and let's hit the diamond for the 7th episode of Dino SuperCharge, Home Run Koda. The Rangers are teaching Koda about sports because... So, Fury knows the perfect monster for this situation. The opening scene is 26 seconds long and adds almost nothing to the episode. After the opening sequence, we see that tennis is a little too delicate for Koda, who likes to hit things hard. They try rugby, which Koda seems to be really good at, but they dismiss for some reason. And golf, nice drive, but the equipment cost would be really high. When Riley strikes on the inspiration of baseball. I say inspiration, there was a team practicing right behind them. But then the Rangers are attacked by this walking pile of sports equipment. And I'm actually totally serious about that. Koda kicks the monster and some of the sports equipment falls off. This is the oogie boogie of sports. The Rangers don't morph because somebody from the team is watching and needs to see Koda do something. The Vivics start throwing stuff at the Rangers, but when it's baseballs, Koda grabs a bat and slams them right back. The man from the team is impressed and introduces himself as Ted, the head scout. Not sure why a scout would be at a practice, though I suppose this could be a tryout. He offers Koda a spot in the big leagues playing for the Amber Beach Earthquakes. By the way, if you think it's a little bit weird for a sports team to be named after a natural disaster, you might want to have a chat with the Carolina Hurricanes, the Iowa State Cyclones, the Chicago Fire, the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Colorado Avalanche, and yes, the San Jose Earthquakes. And I could go on. Riley knows everything about baseball because, of course he does, and encourages Koda to accept. Meanwhile, on the villain ship, Heckle is scolding the monster, whose name is Gameface. Time out. Gameface? His name isn't sports, or balls, or athletics? His name actually contains a sliver of creativity? I'll give you a Bronze Star SuperCharge. It's not the most creative name, but it is progress. Anyway, Gameface blames the Vivix. The Vivix have apparently gotten very complacent getting blown up every week, taking every chance they get to tuck into this crash ship's oddly prolific supply of snacks. I mean, does the ship have a replicator or something? Heckle, no snide this week, and in fact not even Sin shows up, tells Gameface to whip the Vivix into shape. The team holds Koda's press conference at the cafe instead of, at their stadium or at the team facility. Don't be silly, doing that would have required another set. Kota is his cute caveman self, while we see Riley coveting the spotlight, riding Koda's coattails hard. By the by, the team's head scout also seems to be their manager. By the by, Ted's actor, John Dybvig, also voiced General Gut on Samurai. Props, some of the only props this episode gets, by the way, for using exterior shots of MLB stadiums and adding CGI Amber Beach signs. It really did look good. It blended well. Just a minute after hearing Kota say that he plays barefoot, Riley makes him put on shoes. And this is more of a personal nitpick, but I really wish we could have gotten to hear the announcer say that one of the teams that Kota was taking on was from some other ranger town. Angel Grove, Turtle Cove, Silver Hills. After a first pitch so dramatic that we had to see it twice on either side of a commercial, Kota literally hits it out of the park. Meanwhile, the Vivix are training, and I'm sure that's going to make a huge difference. Of course, this is a sports-themed episode, so we need a training montage. Kota is becoming a bigger and bigger star, and Riley is cracking the whip so he can stay famous too. It was at this point that Bandai elbowed the scriptwriters and reminded them that this is a show that sells toys. Kendall has invented the Victory Charger, which uses the power of the 5 core energems for a final strike. Riley and Kota get back from practice, so good, now they can test it. Except that Riley doesn't care, insisting that Kota keep training instead. Kota keeps the Earthquakes winning, which admittedly is a little bit easier when you only play home games, if their uniforms are to be believed. Kota doesn't seem to be happy, though, feeling conflicted about neglecting his ranger family. Meanwhile, the Vivix are still training, and seriously, after working this hard, I am sure that this training is going to be a key factor of this episode. Kendall detects the gathered training Vivix and wants the Rangers to go investigate. However, Riley hasn't resolved the conflict of the episode yet, and flat out refuses to go or to allow Kota to go, saying to just call them if there's any trouble. So the other Rangers go and spy on the monsters, overhearing them realize that Kota picked up Gameface's bat. The thing is, that bat is also a bomb that Gameface can set off once he gets close enough. Of course, after saying, "Call me if you need me," Riley left his comm unit in his bag. To be fair, that is something of a Green Ranger tradition, though. So the other Rangers head to the stadium and get there just as Riley and Kota are walking out for the championship game. They call it both the championship and the finals, but baseball usually decides their titles through a series of games. The other Rangers take the bat and they leave. Faced with a direct monster plot, Riley still wants Kota to play. He finally just comes out with it that he's living vicariously through Kota, having played baseball as a kid but not having the talent to make the major leagues. Kota gently, emotionally slaps him upside the head, reminding him that he is a Power Ranger and that is his team. And Riley just literally snaps out of it, thanking Kota for reminding him about what's important. The monsters arrive at the stadium with some World War II era Vivix, apparently. Gameface rigs the bat to explode, but Kota shows up and tosses it into the sky. The Rangers instamorph because the action took a serious backseat this week. And in an episode heavily themed to baseball, the Vivix attack with basketballs. Of course. Hi, Kendall. Lovely to see you morphed again. She brings the Rangers the Victory Charger, but first they're going to have to deal with these newly trained Vivix. These tough, powerful, honed Vivix. The best around that nothing's going to ever bring down. The Rangers will have to search deep within themselves to find the strength to bring together all of their powers to... Ivan finishes them with a single final strike, and the entire training thing was utterly pointless. Tyler goes supercharged, they use the new victory charger, and boom goes the Monster Might. After an admittedly funny joke about the big leagues, Heckle grows not just Game Face, but the Vivix as well. I guess he didn't know that they can form Vivizords. Or maybe he just wanted these super tough Vivix to go down to another single attack. The Rangers, for I believe the first time, summon all 9 of their Zords. It would be a much more awesome moment if it weren't happening in the last 5 minutes and a complete afterthought of the episode. Despite summoning all 9 Zords, Packy sits out for a little bit, with Koda and Shelby in the Dino Charge Megazord, Tyler and Kendall in the Plesio Charge Megazord Ankylo formation, and Ivan, Chase, and Riley in the Terra Charge Megazord Pararaptor formation. But, just like the rest of this episode, the Zord fight was completely boring. Just a series of finishing moves. The highlight of it was Koda using his batting skills to take on Game Face, with the Dino Charge Megazord pulling a giant-sized bat out of the land of dreams. But not just any bat, kids. This bat was made by the Kyoryuger Corporation, the leading name in Megazord bats. They reform to Plesio Charge Pachyrex formation, and Koda gets the Dino SuperDrive Saber because this is his focus episode. This time it only takes the Galactic Blast to finish off Game Face. Koda and Riley rush back to the stadium where Coach Ted... Wait. Coach Ted, so he is the head coach and also the head scout? No. Major League Baseball teams have huge scouting departments. You never see the head scout also being the team's manager. And listen, I understand not wanting to hire more than one actor, but why did he introduce himself as the head scout? There would have been nothing weird about the manager of the team being at a tryout or a practice. Anyway, and what was he doing in the tunnel? Anyway, by the power of dramatic plot convenience, Koda shows up just in time to pinch hit in the bottom of the 9th with 2 outs. I'm guessing there's a runner on base because Koda's told that he needs to hit a home run to win the game. Really saying that doesn't make any sense. All Koda really needed to do was get a hit, or heck, even a walk, just to get on base. Yes, a home run could win the game, if there was a runner on base. Otherwise, it would just tie the game if they were down 1, or if the score was already tied, which means they weren't necessarily going to lose. There's just not a situation in baseball where you say, you have to hit a home run or we lose. Alright, enough sports nerdiness. Koda is worried because he doesn't have Game Face's bat anymore, but Riley tells him to just trust his instincts. So, after quickly going down 0-2, Koda takes off his shoes, the key to batting, and goes all caveman wild stance. In all honesty, it probably freaked the pitcher out, and Koda hits the winning home run. 4 to 5 players mildly celebrate the fact that they just won the freaking championship. But hey, Koda is a big sports star now. I'm sure he's going to sign a huge contract extension with the Earthquakes, and his being on the team is going to be a big factor in the overall story going forward. Episode 7, Home Run Koda. Pros, creative monster name, nice use of exterior stadium shots, and a decent be-yourself plot. Cons, clearly not written by baseball fans, far too little action, yet another Riley losing his freaking mind episode, and the episode was just painfully boring. This episode swung for the fences, and hit a weak fly to short. Home Run Koda gets 2 Super Fossils out of 5. You know, I think I can hit the positive points for this episode in a single take. It was nice to have a monster name that for once wasn't just a literal on-the-nose statement of what that monster actually is. The exterior shots of the stadiums were borrowed, but they used CG well to make that quite believable. And there was a nice, well, there was a decent plot about being happy with who you are for both Riley and Kota. Oh, here come the cons. An episode that wants to cover a sport should probably bring in a consultant from that sport. They must play baseball in New Zealand, but you certainly wouldn't know from watching this episode. Holding a press conference at a museum cafe, shoeless Koda Jackson, the championship finals, needing a home run to win the game right now. This episode was clearly written by people who have never been to a baseball game but have often wondered about them. Okay, so maybe if you're not 100% on the baseball stuff, you keep that in the background to the Ranger action. But they didn't. There was a painfully small amount of Ranger action in this episode, evidenced most by the only morph in the episode being a quick morph. This show still is called Power Rangers, right? If they keep this Riley stuff up, sooner or later he's just going to join Heckle because he feels more appreciated there. The second time in 7 episodes, Riley has just taken leave of his senses for some asinine reason. And what made it worse this time is how shallow the epiphany was. Kota reminds him that he's a Power Ranger, and he literally goes, "Oh yeah, right, I forgot. Is that what this shiny thing around my neck was? I thought I found it in a cereal box." And just, wow, was this episode a snoozer. Listen, some people find baseball boring. Obviously, I'm not one of those people. But this episode was boring. You had none of the drama that baseball actually has until the very end, and that drama was entirely artificial and not even how the game actually works. We spend multiple times looking at the Vivix training for them just to get one shot, and then the Zord fight is basically the same thing. I mean, some of this is probably just me. It was just really sad and frustrating to see Power Rangers do a sports episode, 2 of my interests that rarely ever intersect, and to just fail at it so badly. I'm not really concerned for the show as a whole because this episode was the definition of filler. It kind of feels like they only made it just to sell the Victory Charger and Game Face action figures. This week's featured comment, which comes from my review of episode 6 2 weeks ago, comes from Adapter Parish Productions, who congratulated me on reaching 10,000 subs, thank you. Loves Chompsy.
Who doesn't?
Okay, Chompsy. And can't wait to see the bad guys again. I sure can. If I never see those guys again, it'll be too soon. This week's episode featured a charger that combined the power of the 5 core energems. But what about Ivan? We can't ignore the noble knight for long, so let's focus on him next week in episode 8, Riches and Rags. When Ivan mistakes a 1,000-year-old set of armor as a training dummy, he finds himself in debt after destroying it. Heckle sends in a hybrid monster named Spell Digger to spread greed to anyone who touches his gold coins. Well, that's going to wrap up another Power Rangers Dino SuperCharge episode review. Thank you guys so much, as always, for watching. Make sure to click the like button right down below the video, subscribe if you're new here, and leave a comment on this episode for your chance to be next week's featured comment. Also, if you'd like to leave me a little cash tip, you can click the support button on my channel page, and I'd really appreciate it. Until next time, may the power protect you. The opening scene is 26 seconds long and adds absolutely nothing to the episode. Almost nothing. The opening scene is 26 seconds long and adds almost nothing to this episode. And now I forgot the next line. Back on the villain ship, Heckle is scolding the villain. The team holds... Koda is his cute caveman self while we see, what's his face? I don't know, the green guy, who cares? Koda is his cute caveman self while we see Riley coveting the spotlight hard, riding Koda's coattails. By the way, the scout also appears to be the team's manager. By the by, the team holds Koda's press conference... The team holds Koda's press conference over the rainbow. Props, some of the only props this episode gets, by the way. for using exterior shots of MLB stadiums and adding CGI Amber Beach signs. It looked really good. It blended very well. Kota keeps the Earthquakes winning, which admittedly is a little bit easier when you only play home games if their uniforms are to be believed. Kota doesn't seem to be happy. Neither am I. Because I missed it. Thing is, that bat is also a bomb that he can set off if he gets close enough. Nope. So the Rangers go the other Rangers. Damn it. The highlight of it was Koda using his batting skills to take on... You never see a head scout also being the team's manager, and I don't know this line. Wait. Coach Ted, so he is the head coach? And the head scout as well? No, because he's the manager. Oh, well, yeah. Anyway, what was he doing in the tunnel? Anyway, Koda shows... all Kota really needed to do was get a hit, or even a walk, just to get on base. Yes, a home run would win the game, as long as there was a runner on base. Otherwise, dagnabbit, this take's gonna be tricky. Yes, a home run could win the game, as long as there's a runner on base, then only... You know, I think I can hit all of the pros for this episode in just one take. And right off the note, the outside stadium shots. I think I can hit all the pros for this episode in just one take. It was finally nice to have a monster name. Farts! Nobody's in the room, are they? Hello? I have to find them. I'm back. Oh, the exterior stadium shots were really nice. Farts! You know, I think I can hit all of the positives. It's all going terribly, terribly wrong. The footage of the baseball stadiums may have been borrowed, but they used CG well to make it quite believable. And there was a nice, well, there was a decent plot for Koda and Riley about making sure to be your farts! Son of a tips! I don't know what that means, but I'm getting really frustrated. Oh, here come the cons. Yep.